The sun hung low over the mist-covered waters, as two swordsmen stood poised for battle. The air was thick with tension, the weight of centuries of tradition and honor pressing down on their shoulders. One was Miyamoto Musashi, a warrior whose name would come to symbolize the epitome of martial mastery and philosophical insight. The other was Sasaki Kojiro, a master swordsman renowned for his unparalleled skill and razor-sharp techniques. Their duel was inevitable, an event that would go down in history as one of the most fabled and significant encounters in the world of martial arts. On the morning of April 13, 1612, the two men met on a small island in the Seto Inland Sea, where Musashi, the unorthodox strategist, would face off against Kojiro, the traditionalist swordsman. What followed was not just a battle of two warriors, but a clash of philosophies, methods, and worldviews that would go on to define much of what we understand today about the art of combat. This legendary duel between Musashi and Sasaki Kojiro is not only a tale of bloodshed, but a profound moment in history that speaks to larger themes of strategy, innovation, and personal growth. But what was it about this duel that made it so legendary? Why, centuries later, does it continue to captivate the imagination of martial artists, philosophers, and even historians? The answer lies not in the simplicity of the fight itself, but in the symbolism of the encounter, the philosophical implications it holds, and the art of combat that transcends mere physical confrontation. Musashi's duel with Kojiro was not just about swords. It was a lesson in how to approach life, leadership, and conflict with both intellect and discipline. Before we dive deeper into the symbolism, philosophy, and the art of combat behind Musashi's legendary duel with Sasaki Kojiro, I want to extend a warm welcome to all of you watching here on the Unfolding Journey YouTube channel. Whether you're a martial arts enthusiast, a student of history, or someone seeking to understand deeper philosophies of life, this is the place for you. Our goal here is to explore the profound teachings of history's greatest figures, unraveling lessons that can still inspire and transform us today. In this video, we'll dissect one of the most iconic moments in samurai history, the clash between Musashi and Kojiro, not just as a physical battle, but as a metaphor for life's challenges. From their contrasting approaches to combat to the deeper philosophical undertones of their fight, this duel is far more than a historical event. It is a timeless story that continues to resonate with people across the world. To understand the duel itself, we need to examine the backgrounds of the two combatants. Miyamoto Musashi was a wandering swordsman, a man who had already earned a reputation for his unparalleled skill and unconventional methods. He had fought in over 60 duels and was undefeated. Musashi's life was one of constant learning, a quest for mastery not only of swordsmanship but of the mind. His approach to combat was unique. He relied on adaptability, innovation, and psychological warfare. Musashi believed that the way to win was not simply through superior sword skills, but by controlling the flow of the fight itself, disrupting the rhythm and expectations of the opponent. His style was known as Niten Ichi-ryu, or two heavens, one school, and it involved wielding two swords, one in each hand, allowing him to attack with unmatched versatility. Sasaki Kojiro, on the other hand, was a man of tradition, a master of the long sword katana, who had honed his craft under a strict, disciplined code. His weapon of choice was the Monohoshi Zeo, a massive sword that was said to be nearly 6 feet long. Kojiro's skill with the blade was renowned throughout Japan, and he had become famous for his precision, speed, and deadly accuracy. He was a man of refinement, deeply connected to the classical teachings of the samurai code, and his reputation as a swordsman was virtually unmatched. The contrast between the two men was striking: Musashi, the unorthodox, free-spirited, and unpredictable swordsman, and Kojiro, the disciplined, methodical, and traditionalist warrior. This clash of ideologies would play a central role in the outcome of their confrontation. In 1612, a challenge was issued. Sasaki Kojiro, eager to prove his superiority, sought a duel with Musashi. The setting was arranged on a small island called Funajima, just off the coast of the island of Ikitsuki. The duel was set to take place at dawn, with the two men facing each other in a one-on-one battle to the death. When Musashi arrived at the duel, he had prepared for the encounter in his own unorthodox fashion. Instead of arriving in the early hours like his opponent, Musashi deliberately delayed his arrival, arriving late and with an unusual weapon, a wooden oar, which he had fashioned into a sword-like weapon. This act alone served as a psychological strategy, as Kojiro had prepared to fight with his long sword, expecting the typical, honorable duel. Musashi's late arrival and his unorthodox weapon choice were a clear signal that he was not bound by traditional expectations and was willing to break with convention to gain an advantage. Musashi's innovation was rooted in his deep understanding of human psychology. He knew that Kojiro would likely become irritated or unsettled by Musashi's delay and strange weapon, creating an opening for Musashi to take control of the mental aspect of the fight. Musashi's approach to strategy was not just about physical superiority. It was about creating uncertainty in the opponent's mind, causing them to lose focus and make critical mistakes. This was the first key to Musashi's success, his ability to disrupt the rhythm of combat. While Kojiro relied on the expected flow of the duel, fighting according to the rules and etiquette of samurai tradition, Musashi understood that true mastery of combat came from adaptability, innovation, and a willingness to throw the rules out the window when necessary. This is where the symbolism of the duel begins to take shape. Musashi's victory was not simply the result of a stronger or faster sword. It was the result of a mindset that valued adaptability over rigidity. Sasaki Kojiro, in contrast, was the embodiment of the traditional samurai spirit: honor, discipline, and mastery of technique. His approach to combat was grounded in the classical teachings of Kenjutsu, which emphasized precision, timing, and fluidity. Kojiro's weapon, the Monohoshi Zeo, was a symbol of his commitment to tradition and his belief in the superiority of strength and skill. In the duel, Kojiro initially demonstrated his remarkable technique, employing his sword's massive length with skill and precision. He was a master of the Tachi style of sword fighting, which emphasized long-range strikes and the ability to control the flow of combat with calculated movements. However, Kojiro's reliance on these traditional techniques was also his downfall. His approach was predictable, and Musashi's ability to think outside the box allowed him to exploit the inherent limitations of Kojiro's style. The symbolism of Kojiro's downfall is significant. His approach to combat, while powerful, was rooted in the past. His adherence to traditional methods left him vulnerable to Musashi's unorthodox, forward-thinking strategies. This clash between the old and the new is not just a historical anecdote, but a powerful metaphor for the challenges faced by anyone who must decide between tradition and innovation. In many ways, Musashi's victory represents the triumph of adaptability and innovation over the rigid constraints of tradition. As the duel reached its climax, Musashi made his move. He struck at Kojiro with his wooden oar, delivering a swift blow that struck Kojiro's head, knocking him to the ground. Musashi's strategy had been executed perfectly. By disrupting Kojiro's focus, unsettling his expectations, and using an unconventional weapon, Musashi had forced his opponent into a state of mental and physical disarray. The symbolism of this final moment is profound. Musashi's victory was not just a physical triumph, but a triumph of the mind. It was an affirmation that success in combat, or in life, does not come from simply mastering the tools of the trade. It comes from understanding the psychology of your opponent, adapting to the situation at hand, and always being willing to think outside the box. The philosophical lessons of Musashi's duel with Kojiro extend far beyond the realm of combat. The fight symbolizes the ongoing tension between tradition and innovation, discipline and adaptability. Musashi's approach teaches us that success comes not from rigid adherence to tradition, but from the ability to adapt, think critically, and embrace change. In the modern world, this lesson is just as relevant, whether in business, personal growth, or leadership. Moreover, Musashi's ability to remain calm and focused under pressure offers a powerful lesson in mental discipline. His strategy was not just about physical technique, but about controlling his emotions, understanding his opponent, and remaining mentally clear throughout the encounter. This is a critical lesson for anyone facing life's challenges. Success often depends not on brute strength, but on the clarity of mind and the ability to remain adaptable in the face of adversity. Miyamoto Musashi's duel with Sasaki Kojiro is much more than a tale of two swordsmen fighting to the death. It is a story of contrasting philosophies, of the battle between the old and the new, and of the timeless lessons that can be drawn from their encounter. Musashi's victory was not just a testament to his swordsmanship, but to his deep understanding of human nature, strategy, and the power of innovation. The duel between Musashi and Kojiro transcends the battlefield, offering profound insights into how we approach conflict, leadership, and life itself. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the most legendary duels in history. If you found the insights and lessons from Musashi's encounter with Kojiro inspiring, be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all our upcoming content. At The Unfolding Journey, we dive deep into history, philosophy, and the art of personal growth, so you can continue learning from the greatest minds of the past. Subscribe now and never stop exploring the timeless lessons that continue to shape our world today.